Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sapkal here. Welcome back for watching the videos. The title for discussion today is ferrous sulfate tablet and prevention of anemia and pregnancy. Anemia is the most common hematological disorder. There is 75% prevalence of anemia in pregnancy. It is due to the increased demand of vitamins and minerals in pregnancy and lactation. It is also due to the deficient diet and the iron stores. Iron deficiency anemia is associated with reduction in the hemoglobin percentage, which results into insufficient oxygen carrying capacity of RBCs to meet the tissue demands. Most accurate method to measure the hemoglobin is Sine-Meth hemoglobin method. Normal hemoglobin percentage in non-pregnant female is 11.5 to 15 gram percent, and by Foxy the cutoff value for hemoglobin percentage is less than 10 gram percent. Maternal mortality in anemia is approximately 20%, both direct and indirect cause. Physiological anemia results in pregnancy. It is due to hemodilution. Means plasma volume rise is by 50% and RBC volume rise is hardly by 20%. Thus there is hemodilution of blood. It is meant for improving the placental perfusion in pregnancy. However, in these cases, hemoglobin percentage fall is never less than 10 gram percent and PCV fall is never less than 32%. Rest of the blood parameters are normal. There are three stages of iron deficiency anemia, where initial stage when depleted iron stores are there, the serum ferritin level will be low. Next, the serum iron and transferrin saturation will be low, but erythropoiesis continues. And last stage of iron deficiency anemia will manifest with deficit in the hemoglobin percentage. As such, the serum ferritin levels, they reflect the iron stores. Less than 30 microgram per liter indicates iron deficiency anemia, but it is not very specific test because infection and malignancy serum ferritin levels, they increase. Low serum iron levels are also seen in iron deficiency anemia, but these levels they fluctuate and there is diurnal variation. Serum transferrin levels are less than 300 mg per dl. It reflects the circulating iron in plasma. Transferrin is a circulating iron in the plasma, and it is also a specific test to diagnose the iron deficiency anemia. Most sensitive index of iron deficiency anemia is to estimate the MCHC value less than 30 gram per dl, as it is independent of RBC count. Hemoglobin percentage we have discussed. WHO has given the hemoglobin value as less than 10.5 gram in second trimester and less than 11 gram percent in first and third trimester. Hemoglobin percentage cutoff value recommended by Foxy is less than 10 gram percent. Packed cell volume or hematocrit is less than 30% in iron deficiency anemia. Usually hematocrit value is triple of the hemoglobin percentage. It reflects the anemia due to acute blood loss. Red cell distribution width RDW increases in iron deficiency anemia. However, in thalassemia, RDW is normal. Then total iron binding capacity increases, transferrin receptors they increase, and red cell distribution width also increase. These three levels they increase, indicating iron deficiency anemia. Iron deficiency anemia is associated with low serum iron levels, but they are always fluctuating. Transferrin in the plasma absorbs the iron from the gut. Then it is stored in the liver, RBCs, and the plasma. Liver, spleen, and reticuloendothelium system, 30% of transferrin is stored, and RBC 70%, and in plasma 0.1%. Circulating iron is in the transferring form, and the levels are 300 mg per dl. Iron loss per day in female is who is menstruating is 2 mg per day, and in male it is 1 mg per day. RBC they break down after 120 days, and iron is reutilized and recycled. 1 gram of RBC they break down with the breakdown of 1 gram of RBC, elemental iron approximately 3 milligram, 3.5 milligram, 4 milligram is liberated. Conditions like thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, iron chelating agents are required because of excess of hemolysis in these cases. And remember, thalassemia and sickle cell disease with low serum ferritin levels only should receive iron supplementation. Otherwise, it is not advocated. Iron supplementation is not advocated in these cases. Iron requirement in total 9 months is 900 mg. Among it, fetus and placenta gets 500 mg of iron. For RBC expansion, 500 mg of elemental iron is utilized, and blood loss in labor and iron loss in sweat and feces is approximately 200 mg. RBCs which are saved due to amenorrhea, blood loss is due to amenorrhea is 300 mg. Thus total 900 mg of iron with each pregnancy is lost, and also the nutrients are lost. Hence, recurrent childbirth is prevented in all patients. Avoid early marriages, encourage the practice of use of contraception for adequate spacing. Various degrees of anemia classified by WHO as mild, moderate, severe and life-threatening. Mild means less than 11 gram per cent, moderate means less than 10. Severe means less than 8 and life-threatening means less than 7 grams. According to FOXY, the cutoff value for hemoglobin percentage is 10 gram per cent. Types of anemia may be because of less RBC production, because of blood loss, or because of RBC destruction. These are the three reasons for different types of anemia. When the RBC production is less due to iron deficiency or B12 folic acid deficiency or protein deficiency, then iron deficiency anemia, dimorphic anemia, megaloblastic anemia results when there is B12 folic acid deficiency. When there is hypoplastic bone marrow due to radiation injury or drugs or use of drugs or alcohol use. In these cases, hypoplastic bone marrow is seen. Then hypopituitary hypogonadism or dysfunction, endocrine gland dysfunction. In these cases, there is less erythropoietin secretion, and also in liver disease, tuberculosis, there is less erythropoietin secretion leads up into anemia. Chronic infections like urinary tract infection or renal disease. In these cases, apart from less erythropoietin, in these cases, there is excess of interleukin secretion, which is responsible for less production of RBCs and less reutilization of iron. RBCs or blood loss. In cases like menorrhagia, piles, antepartum hemorrhage, hookworm infestation, schistosomiasis, in these cases, iron deficiency anemia results. Patients with RBC, excess of RBC destruction like sickle cell disease, thalassemia, G6PD deficiency, spirocytosis, malaria, in these cases, megaloblastic anemia is a risk. Also, the prosthetic wall disease, malignant cases like leukemia, vesical mole, choriocarcinoma. In these cases, anemia is a major factor which complicates the pregnancy. Peripheral smear can be obtained in these cases of anemia to diagnose the type of anemia. Microcytic hypochromic picture is there in iron deficiency cases. In these cases, pencil cells, they are elongated slit-like cells. These are the pencil cells, and these are the teardrop cells. These are the teardrop cells. Anisocytosis means small sized cells or deformed cells are seen in folic acid deficiency. Poikilocytosis, abnormal RBC shape is there. Like these cases, fragmented RBCs or cystocytes are seen in folic acid deficiency. It is not seen in iron deficiency anemia. This is cystocytes. Blast cells less than 20% indicates chronic anemia and more than 20% indicates acute leukemia. Other parasites like malaria, filaria can be identified. Even sickle cell disease can be diagnosed with a peripheral smear. In iron deficiency anemia, the RBCs are microcytic and hypochromic. In dimorphic picture, then the RBCs will be macrocytic. In folic acid deficiency, there will be megaloblast. They are immature RBCs. They are nucleated cells. Even Hopwell Jolly bodies are seen. It is residual nuclear inclusion bodies. Patients with hypothyroidism there and a liver disease. Macrocytes, non-megaloblastic anemia is seen, just like macrocytes here also. Macrocytes are seen, but the cells are non-megaloblastic cells. In patients with liver disease or renal disease, when there is impaired bone marrow function, then normocytic hypochromic anemia is seen because of poor erythropoiesis. In thalassemia and all liver diseases, target cells are seen where center portion of the RBC has got a small circle, hyperpigmented circle. Anemia is a common public health problem and can be prevented at different levels. Like preconception period, antenatal period, when can be prescription of tablets can be modified when we are preventing the anemia in high risk group. Then specific treatment for the cause of anemia can be given like treatment of infections, bleeding piles can be treated. Interventions and preventive measures are required whenever there is acute blood loss in pregnancy like PPH and APH cases where blood transfusion and termination of pregnancy by immediate cesarean section is of extreme importance to prevent acute anemia in these cases due to blood loss. Clinically, anemia is a manifestation of undernutrition. Thus, iron deficiency anemia is a disease of low socioeconomic group and rural population. Thus, improve the socio-economic standard of living, provide the antenatal services to the rural population, increase the age of marriage and childbirth. Then, most important is health education of the public, motivation for emergency use of emergency contraception, practice of medical abortion, then hormonal contraception, Mirena should be encouraged. Deworming should be done in all patients after 14 weeks. Single tablet of albendazole 400 mg will help. As such, anemia is due to increased demand of iron and vitamins in pregnancy and lactation. If the iron stores are already depleted in pregnancy, then severe degree of anemia may result, which may be life-threatening. That's why WHO recommends supplementation of both iron and folic acid in pregnancy and lactation. And patients also for the patients who are post-tubectomy cases, post-cooperative follow-up cases, and teenage girls. The ferrous sulfate tablet, single tablet of 60 mg or 100 mg can be given along with folic acid 400 microgram per day. Should be given for 100 days. So 100 tablets of 100 mg for 100 days are given to prevent anemia in pregnancy. What is the advantage of this prophylactic treatment? It improves the maternal status of the iron and also improves the neonatal reserves of iron. It prevents the iron deficiency anemia in the first year of life of the child. Preconception counseling is must for all cases like recurrent pregnancy loss, neural tube defect, patients with history of copper T removal due to menorrhagia, patients with past history of heavy menstrual bleeding or fibroid uterus. Patients getting anticonvulsant drugs, they are at risk of developing folic acid deficiency anemia. Molar pregnancy, they are at risk of sudden blood loss. Hence, prompt replacement of blood should be done in these cases. Advice about early registration for antenatal care and early detection of hemoglobin percentage is of extreme importance in all cases. Advice against the pregnancy is given in certain selected cases of aplastic anemia because in these cases the pregnancy outcome is very poor. By early registration for antenatal um, checkup, there is a need to identify the high risk cases. How do you identify them? By detailed history and treat the cause. Like patients of high risk cases for anemia may be grand multipara, repeated childbirth, adolescent pregnancy. Chronic blood loss due to piles, heavy menstrual bleeding, copper T menorrhagia may be there, may land up into iron deficiency anemia with pregnancy. Malabsorption syndrome and folic acid and vitamin B12 deficiency must be diagnosed as early as possible and should be supplemented as early as possible. Use of anti-epileptic drugs inhibit the folate synthesis. These drugs they inhibit the folic acid synthesis and thus there is a risk of folic acid deficiency anemia and supplementation is required. Vitamin folic acid. Screening for chronic infections, urinary tract infection, malaria is of extreme importance in these cases. Early diagnosis of multiple pregnancy is very important and prevention of anemia should be looked for because the iron demands and vitamin requirement doubles up with the multiple pregnancy. Anemia is due to deficient iron component in the diet. A normal diet containing 2500 kilocalories in balanced diet contains 20 milligram of elemental iron and only 10% of this consumed iron is absorbed, means only 2 milligram per day is absorbed. However, iron requirement in pregnancy is 4 to 6 milligram per day. Can be achieved only when the lady consumes 40 to 60 milligram of elemental iron per day. It cannot be achieved with the normal diet. Hence, iron supplementation is very important in pregnancy in all these cases. Dietary changes must be done in patients who have got iron deficiency anemia. Encourage the consumption of iron rich food. Diet rich in iron is animal proteins, diet with animal proteins, meat, egg, leafy vegetables, apple. Supplementation of amino acids, proteins, minerals, and vitamins must be done in all cases along with iron supplementation, along with the iron prescription. Improve the vitamin C content in the diet. Encourage the use of iron utensils in the kitchen for cooking. Practice of food fortification with folic acid to prevent megaloblastic anemia is also one of the methods which can be implemented on a large scale. Dietary factors which reduce the iron absorption should be identified like consumption of excess of tea, coffee, milk because milk contains excess of calcium and phosphorus. These three problems, consumption of tea, coffee and milk, they reduce the absorption of iron. Also, high phenol content of the food like strawberries, melon reduces iron absorption from the food. Say no to antacid use also. High phytate food is the cause for less absorption of iron from the food. Cereal milling reduces the phytate content by 50%. For prevention of anemia, the ferrous sulfate dose is 1 tablet of 300 mg per day. Thus, patient receives 12 mg of elemental iron per day. For treatment purpose, 3 tablets of 300 mg are given for 100 days in pregnancy. Other oral preparations are colloidal ferric hydroxide, which contains elemental iron of 50%. Bioavailability is 50%. In the ferrous ascorbate, bioavailability of elemental iron is 40%. It is the best drug. It is better absorbed, prevents oxidation to ferric form, and protects the gastric mucosa. Ferrous sulfate, 300 mg. The elemental iron is 20%. 3 tablets are given for the treatment purpose, and then maintenance dose is 1 tablet per day. Ferrous succinate, ferrous fumarate, ferrous gluconate, they contain elemental iron ranging from 33 to 36%. Carbonyl iron is a metallic iron with a particle size less than 5 microns. Bioavailability is 70% of that of ferrous sulfate. The other preparation is iron polymaltose complex. It gets poorly absorbed from the GI tract because iron core is shielded by polymaltose chain. With use of these iron preparations, either oral or injectable, hemoglobin rise is by 0.7 to 1 gram percent per week. Non-heme iron is derived from leafy vegetables, sprouts, cereals, and milk, eggs, and heme iron is derived from meat. It gets readily absorbed. Other oral preparations are iron choline citrate, ferric glycerophosphate, and of course hemoglobin preparations are also practiced for oral use. Improve the iron absorption of oral iron preparations by consuming the tablets in fasting state because the presence of acid helps for the absorption in the stomach. Consumption of tablet along with the orange juice or lime juice will also increase the absorption rate due to presence of ascorbic acid in these juices. Supplementation with folic acid, vitamin B12 is of extreme importance to promote the erythropoiesis. Treatment of side effects will be helpful in certain cases, like anti-emetic drugs may be given if the patient is having nausea, vomiting, abdominal discomfort due to the use of iron preparations. Minimize the side effects of oral therapy by gradually increasing the dose. The patient may take the tablet with food, along with food at bedtime, and change the preparation. Select the preparation with less elemental iron. It is observed that 100 mg of ferrous sulfate is equally effective as 200 mg of ferrous sulfate. Look for the response to the treatment also, like improvement of sense of well-being because of it is due to release of endorphins in the brain. Then increase of RE cells in the peripheral sphere by 1 or 2%, rise in the hemoglobin and rise in PCV indicates good response to the treatment. If there is failure of response, check for the compliance, whether the patient is taking it or not. If the patient is consuming the tablet, then the stools will be black color. Next, the patients of malabsorption syndrome are at risk of failure of iron therapy. So, detailed history about the vomiting and loose motion should be obtained in these cases. Serum protein levels should be estimated. Vitamin supplementation and amino acid supplementation is extremely important in these cases. Intolerance to oral therapy in these cases modify or change the therapy. Continuous use or loss of blood from bleeding piles or patients of placenta previa can have anemia in pregnancy. Coexistent infections like urinary tract infection, respiratory tract infection, their specific treatment and diagnosis should be done. If no clinical improvement with iron deficiency anemia, identify the chronic infections, identify the other reasons for anemia like B12 folic acid deficiency with the help of peripheral smear. Megaloblastic anemia can be diagnosed by peripheral smear. The earliest manifestation of folic acid deficiency on peripheral smear in megaloblastic anemia is segmented leukocytes in folic acid deficiency anemia. At least two features for Buffy coat preparation should be there to diagnose as a case of megaloblastic anemia. There are total 5 features. First one is 4% of polymorphs should have more than 5 lobes in the nucleus, and polymorphs may be of large size, giant size polymorphs. As regards the RBCs, they are usually macrocytes more than 12 microns in size and they are orthochromatic. Howell-Jolly bodies are identified in the RBCs, and RBC may be nucleated with premature hemoglobinization. Serum folate levels less than 3 microgram per liter is the earliest indicator of folic acid deficiency. Next, the gold standard test to diagnose folic acid deficiency anemia is to estimate RBC folate levels. RBC folate levels less than 80 microgram per liter indicates folic acid deficiency anemia. What about B12 deficiency? The earliest indicator of B12 deficiency is serum B12 levels less than 200 nanogram per liter. So for B12 deficiency, serum B12 is in nanograms, and for folic acid deficiency, serum folate levels is in micrograms. So this is the difference between the two levels. The folic acid is supplemented in different conditions where we want to prevent the effect of folic acid deficiency anemia, like a neural tube defect. If we are interested in preventing in low risk group and high risk group. In low risk group, 400 microgram per day is the dose, and for high risk, 500 microgram per day is the dose. Patients with anticonvulsant drugs and thalassemia cases, sickle cell disease cases, folic acid dose is 500 microgram per day. For lactating mother, 600 microgram per day, and for prevention of folic acid deficiency anemia, 800 microgram per day is required for 9 months, and for treatment, 1 milligram per day is required for 9 months. Remember, in sickle cell disease, the daily dose of folic acid is 4 to 5 milligram per day because there is excessive RBC destruction and excessive proliferation of erythropoiesis in these cases. Prevention of B12 deficiency after bariatric surgery or partial gastrectomy, in these operations, post-operative cases with pregnancy, these cases, injection B12 1000 microgram is given twice a week. And then after every 3 months, one injection is given. Thalassemia cases, the screening is done by an Nestrov test and diagnostic test is electrophoresis for HbA2. In thalassemia, serum bilirubin levels are usually more than 2 mg%, but one should differentiate the thalassemia from the iron deficiency anemia. Iron deficiency anemia, hemoglobin percentage, MCV, MCHC, and MCH are all low. All are low. And in thalassemia, MCHC is normal. This is the difference between, this is the way by which you can differentiate between thalassemia and iron deficiency anemia. The other test to differentiate between the two is the increased zinc protoporphyrin levels in thalassemia cases. Interventions and preventive measures are required whenever there is acute blood loss in pregnancy, like postpartum hemorrhage, antepartum hemorrhage, twin pregnancy. In multiple pregnancies, especially, selective embryo reduction may be done to prevent the subsequent effects of anemia complicating pregnancy in twins. In multiple gestation, like triplet pregnancy, triplet, quadruplet. Preeclampsia cases, twin pregnancy, grand multipara, active management of third stage of labor is of extreme importance. Actually, active management of third stage of labor should be practiced in all cases for prevention of anemia. Patients with abruptio placenta, when they are bleeding behind the placenta, then as fast as possible the patient should be delivered by artificial rupture of membrane and pitocin drip, or fast cesarean section is required if it is associated with the fetal distress. Replacement of blood volume is of extreme importance in these cases of abruptio placenta vesicular mole also. To prevent neonatal anemia, late cord clamping will help. Thanks for watching this video.